Hi my beauties, my name is Dr. Stefani Kappel and I'm a board certified fellowship trained cosmetic dermatologist here in Newport Beach, California, and I'm in my office today and we just finished clinic and I wanted to do a topic that I saw today and it comes up a lot, and I feel that as patients kind of knowing more about this and even injectors who follow me knowing more about this area right here can avoid some complications from happening, and that is the downturned angles of the mouth. And it's one of the most requested treatments that I see every day in my office, where people will say that they look sad, or people were telling them that they look mad or upset or angry when in fact they feel just fine. They may just have a little resting bitch face going on. So what happens is, as we get older, there's a muscle called the DAO, or the depressor anguli oris, and that can shorten over time, and it connects the corner of the mouth to the mandible down here, and as it pulls down, it can kind of give us like a frowning look or downturn the angles of the mouth, which can make us look upset or like we're not nice or that we're not happy, and no one wants to look like that. So a little bit of Botox can go a long way, but it has to be precisely injected into the right area, and anywhere from 2.5 to 5 units per side is usually needed. I rarely do more than 2.5 units each side, because I feel like if you go above that, then it's harder to keep that area symmetric. And people mess this up all the time, because I do have patients that I know my wait is a little bit longer, and sometimes they cheat on me, and I totally get it. When you need your Botox, you need it, and they'll go have it done at another office, and then they come back all like lopsided, and when they smile, it looks weird. And the reason why is because it's the placement of the Botox, because this is a very meticulous, particular area, was off a little bit, or the Botox wasn't reconstituted the right way and it was watered down too much and it migrated, or they did too much. So hopefully after watching this video, this won't happen to you or a loved one, or if you're an injector, you won't do this to anyone. If you're a patient, you won't have this happen to you, because you'll have knowledge, and knowledge is power. So there's two main ways that you can kind of upturn the angles of the mouth, and I'm going to primarily focus on Botox today, because the other one's a little bit easier and I see less complications from when it's done on the outside and other offices, and sometimes I have to reverse complications, and I rarely see complications from filler in this area. But doing a little bit of filler in the angles of the mouth right in here can kind of help the angles of the mouth be upturned, and also it stops her from like collapsing on itself. You know, when people start getting these like folds here, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that to myself. Erase, rewind. When it starts to collapse on itself, putting a little bit of filler in there not only can upturn the angles of the mouth to give you like a more pleasant, happy, refreshed look and look rejuvenated, but it also prevents the skin-on-skin folding, which can lead to something called angular cheilitis. When sometimes while we sleep, there's a little bit of saliva that goes there. I know this is gross, but a yeast called Pityrosporum ovale can proliferate there and cause like a redness and an irritant dermatitis in that area. So doing filler to upturn the angles of the mouth is a great way to open up the corners of the mouth and upturn them as well, and it helps prevent against that dermatologic condition called angular cheilitis. But Botox is a little bit quicker and faster and easier, and a treatment that people come in often asking for the corners of the mouth. So when assessing a patient, I always have my patients show me their bottom teeth. So I'll have them go like this, because then you can see where that DAO muscle is. Now, if you're too far medial or lateral to that, you can knock out other muscles that are right in the same vicinity of that muscle. Now, if you look at an anatomical face and the muscles in the face, they're all like layered upon each other, and they're all in close proximity to one another. So it's really important to precisely inject the DAO right where it needs to be injected and not go too far lateral or medial. So if an injector is coming and they're going like too far close to the chin or way out here, or they're up too high, that's a more risky time for a complication. So you may say, hey, like, let's back up here if you're a patient to your injector and say, like, just make sure that you're getting it in the right spot. And if the injector's not comfortable doing Botox there, then don't push him or her, because you'd rather just have it not be done than have it done with someone who maybe not is doing it the right way, or isn't really trained to treat that area. Because it could be, a matter of you walking around for like 3 to 6 months looking like all lopsided and asymmetric. The other thing I wanted to say is, as I said, 2.5 to 5 units per side. I feel like anything more than 2.5 units is a little excessive. 2.5 units can go a long way, upturn the angles of the mouth with beautiful symmetry, and give a very bright, refreshed look, and it lasts for about 3 months. You don't really need it to last any longer, because lasting longer would mean we'd have to put more Botox there, and that's not always a good thing either. The other point I wanted to mention is I try not to do Botox and filler for the angles of the mouth on the same day. Here's the reason why. If you do Botox, because sometimes people will say, I want everything done for the corners of my mouth, it's driving me crazy. If Botox and filler are both treatments for it, I want them both. I always like to do one treatment with one certain mechanism of action to correct whatever defect that we're trying to, or problem that we're trying to address, and see how you do. And if you like it, then great, you don't need any further treatment. But if you like it and you want a little bit more, or you want like a little adjuvant treatment to it, then we add in the other thing. The problem with doing Botox and filler in the same location on the same day is that sometimes the filler can bring in a little bit of water or cause some subclinical swelling. Even if you can't appreciate any swelling just by looking at it, clinically with the naked eye, there's some microscopic swelling that happens underneath the skin when you inject filler. And when you inject Botox in the same area, all that swelling and water that's being pulled into the skin can migrate out the Botox and knock out an adjacent muscle that you don't want to be knocked out, because all those muscles, especially the ones that are connected to the corners of the mouth to pull down, to pull up, the levators, there's so many muscles there that if it gets migrated or the Botox is not precisely injected, it can, make you look terrible and asymmetric and look like you had a stroke. So no one wants that. And so the other thing I wanted to mention is chin Botox. So a lot of people come in to have smoothing of their chin. You can do this with Botox or with filler, but some people have a really pebbly chin. I had an attending that used to call it golf ball chin. And when they talk, their friends may say, oh, you got to do something about that. You have like a pebbly chin. And so this is the mentalis muscle. It's right here over the chin. And when people don't inject it in the right place, it can also knock out one of these muscles to where you have like a weird asymmetric smile or pulling situation while you're trying to smile or laugh or talk. And that doesn't look good on anyone. So I always say, if you're coming in to do DAO Botox or the depressor anguli oris Botox for the downturned angles of the mouth, don't do chin in the same day, because that's just too much Botox in too close vicinity. And I like to break it up and do it in stages just to minimize complications. So I just wanted to put that out there for any of you guys who are just learning how to inject, or for patients who are interested in treating these two different areas. It's better just to do the depressor anguli oris Botox to address the corners of the mouth or to smooth out the chin. And the less you do in one setting in this area, this isn't true for like forehead Botox or glabella Botox or crow's feet Botox, but in this area, there's so many fine muscles that are layered upon each other, and the anatomy can be aberrant, meaning everyone's anatomy is a little bit different. So even though you see the muscle and you inject it correctly, you don't want to inject a muscle that's too close in that area and have migration of the neuromodulator or Botox or whatever neuromodulator that you're using. So just to recap, depressor anguli oris muscle shortens as we get older. That's why it downturns the mouth. Doing a little bit of DAO Botox here and here. You can ask people to show me your bottom teeth to know exactly where that muscle inserts. You always want to inject it lower here. I see people make the mistake and inject it up too high all the time. Residents used to do that all the time when I was attending and teaching them how to inject Botox. And so, you don't want to have that complication. It's not life-threatening or anything, but you don't want your patient to have to walk around for 3 months with a less than desirable outcome. So I hope this helps. Those are the ways that we can do lower face Botox to make you look more happy and refreshed and rejuvenated, and to treat resting bitch face. I hate using that word, but that's pretty much what it is. So I hope this helps you guys. Thanks.